Biltmore Hotel in Coral Gables, Miami, is one of Florida's most famous landmarks, known for its luxury and grandeur. Since its opening in 1926, the hotel has attracted celebrities, politicians, and socialites. However, beneath the glamorous exterior lies a darker side, one filled with ghost stories and mysterious happenings. The Biltmore Hotel is widely considered one of the most haunted places in Florida, with a history that includes everything from mob murders to military hospital tragedies. Built by George Merrick, the founder of Coral Gables, and hotel magnate John McEntee Bowman, the Biltmore was designed to be a symbol of elegance and sophistication. Its towering structure, inspired by Spanish and Italian architecture, quickly became a hotspot for the rich and famous. But along with its fame came stories of paranormal activity, making the Biltmore infamous for its ghostly encounters. One of the most well-known hauntings at the hotel is tied to its time as a military hospital during World War II. Many soldiers were treated here, and some did not survive their injuries. The trauma and suffering from this period are said to have left a lingering presence, with guests and staff reporting strange occurrences ever since. Additionally, the hotel's connection to organized crime during the Prohibition era introduced more sinister events. Thomas Fatty Walsh, a notorious mobster, was murdered in one of the hotel's rooms in 1929, and his ghost is still believed to haunt the halls. The mix of tragic deaths and shady dealings has given the Biltmore its haunted reputation, drawing the curious and brave to experience its eerie history firsthand. As the years passed, the Biltmore Hotel's reputation as a luxurious getaway was accompanied by chilling stories that fed into its dark and haunted past. Visitors and locals alike began to share eerie tales of unexplained events, adding to the mystery surrounding the building. The hotel became a hotspot for ghost hunters, paranormal investigators, and anyone fascinated by the supernatural. One of the key figures tied to the hotel's haunted legacy is Thomas Fatty Walsh, whose murder added a layer of intrigue to the Biltmore's dark history. Fatty Walsh was a well-known mobster involved in the illegal liquor trade during Prohibition. In 1929, he was gunned down during a dispute in one of the hotel's suites. Since then, guests have reported seeing his ghost wandering the hotel, especially near the room where he was killed. Some even claim to hear gunshots and feel a sudden chill in the air, as though the tragic events are replaying in the spirit world. But Fatty Walsh isn't the only ghost said to haunt the Biltmore. The hotel's stint as a military hospital during World War II left its own paranormal mark. Staff and guests have reported seeing shadowy figures in old-fashioned military uniforms roaming the halls, particularly in the areas where the hospital once operated. Many believe that the spirits of soldiers who died there have never fully moved on, lingering in the place where they spent their final moments. These sightings, along with reports of unexplained noises, flickering lights, and objects moving on their own, have cemented the Biltmore Hotel's reputation as one of Florida's most haunted locations. What started as whispered rumors has turned into a well-documented part of the hotel's eerie allure, making it a destination for those seeking both luxury and the supernatural. While the entire Biltmore Hotel is steeped in mystery, certain areas within the building are notorious for ghostly activity. Guests and staff alike have reported strange occurrences in these locations, with some areas earning a particularly haunted reputation. One of the most infamous places in the hotel is the 13th floor. Many guests who have stayed on this floor have described an eerie, unsettling feeling, as though they are constantly being watched. Strange noises, such as footsteps in empty hallways and the sound of heavy doors creaking open and shut, are frequently reported. Some visitors have even claimed to see apparitions of ghostly figures dressed in 1920s-style clothing, suggesting that the spirits of those who frequented the hotel in its heyday may still be lingering. The hotel's grand ballroom, once a space for lavish parties and gatherings, is another hotspot for paranormal encounters. The sound of music has been heard echoing from the ballroom late at night, long after events have ended, as if the grand parties of the past are still taking place in another realm. Some guests have also reported seeing shadowy figures dancing in the ballroom, their movements slow and graceful, before disappearing into thin air. Another area teeming with the ghostly sightings is the swimming pool. The luxurious pool, a favorite hangout for the rich and famous in the hotel's early years, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman. Several witnesses have described seeing a lady in a white dress standing near the pool's edge, gazing into the water. When approached, she vanishes without a trace. The identity of this ghostly woman remains a mystery, but her presence continues to captivate those who encounter her. These specific locations within the Biltmore are where the hotel's supernatural side truly comes to life. Guests who venture into these spaces often leave with stories of unexplained phenomena, reinforcing the idea that the spirits of the past have never truly left. Beyond the hauntings of ordinary hotel guests, the Biltmore Hotel has long been rumored to be haunted by the spirits of notorious gangsters from the Prohibition era. During the 1920s and early 1930s, the hotel's lavish parties attracted some of the most infamous criminals of the time, including the notorious mobster Al Capone. Though there is no definitive evidence that Capone himself stayed at the Biltmore, his association with the hotel has fueled numerous legends. One of the most persistent stories is that of the ghost of a hitman who was allegedly killed at the hotel. According to legend, this mob enforcer was gunned down in the lobby, and his spirit now haunts the area where he died. Guests and staff have reported seeing a shadowy figure standing near the lobby's entrance, or walking through it, disappearing when approached. The ghost is often described as wearing a dark suit and fedora, fitting the image of a Prohibition-era gangster. The hotel's connection to the gangland underworld doesn't stop there. Some believe that secret meetings between mobsters took place in hidden rooms within the hotel, particularly in the basement and service areas. These rooms are said to have been used for illegal dealings, bootlegging operations, and even as hideouts during intense police crackdowns. Paranormal investigators who have explored these areas report feelings of unease and claim that the spirits of those who lived violent lives still lurk in the shadows. The elevator shafts and stairwells are also frequent sites of unexplained activity. Guests and staff alike have reported sudden temperature drops, disembodied voices, and even the sensation of being touched by unseen hands while waiting for an elevator or walking down a stairwell. Some say the activity in these areas is tied to the many tragic deaths that occurred in the hotel over the decades, including accidents and possible murders. This layer of gangster-related hauntings and mysterious occurrences adds a dark and sinister element to the Biltmore's supernatural history. The spirits of the criminal past seem to intertwine with those of the hotel's glamorous guests, creating an atmosphere that's both chilling and fascinating. The Biltmore Hotel, with its grand architecture and storied past, is not only a relic of Los Angeles' golden age, but also a hub for unexplained phenomena. From the tragic deaths of hotel guests to the eerie presence of ghosts connected to Hollywood's elite and infamous gangsters, the Biltmore holds a unique place in the world of the paranormal. The sheer volume of ghost sightings, strange occurrences, and unsettling experiences make it one of the most haunted places in America. As the decades have passed, the legends surrounding the Biltmore have only grown, drawing in ghost hunters, paranormal investigators, and curious visitors alike. Those brave enough to stay overnight often leave with chilling stories of their own, whether it's encountering a ghostly figure in the hallways or hearing unexplainable sounds echoing through the building's vast corridors. Despite its reputation for hauntings, the Biltmore remains a popular destination, beloved for its history, architecture, and ties to Hollywood's past. Many visitors are fascinated by the hotel's haunted history, and the Biltmore has embraced its paranormal reputation, often hosting ghost tours and special events centered around its supernatural legacy. In the end, The Biltmore Hotel is more than just a historic landmark. It's a place where the past seems to linger, where spirits from another time continue to make their presence known. Whether you're drawn to its rich history or its haunted reputation, the Biltmore offers a glimpse into a world where glamour and the supernatural collide, making it a place that will forever be shrouded in mystery. The St. Augustine Lighthouse, located in Florida, is one of the oldest and most iconic lighthouses in the United States. Built in the late 1800s, it has a long history of guiding ships safely through the waters along Florida's coast. But over the years, this towering structure has gained a reputation for something more than just its historic role. It's said to be haunted by the spirits of those who met tragic ends in and around the lighthouse. The stories of hauntings at the St. Augustine Lighthouse stretch back more than a century. Many believe the spirits of those who died here never truly left. One of the most well-known tales is that of Joseph Andreu, a lighthouse keeper who tragically fell to his death while painting the tower's exterior. Even though he passed away over 100 years ago, visitors and staff have reported seeing his figure still lingering at the top of the lighthouse, watching over the sea, as if continuing his duties from the afterlife. Another chilling story involves the Pitti sisters, Mary and Eliza. These two young girls were playing near the lighthouse when a terrible accident occurred. They were riding in a cart used for transporting materials when it broke loose and plunged into the water, tragically taking their lives. To this day, some claim to hear the girls' laughter echoing in the tower late at night, and others have even reported seeing their spirits near the bay. The lighthouse has become a popular destination for those seeking ghostly encounters. With its rich history and eerie atmosphere, it's no surprise that the St. Augustine Lighthouse is often referred to as one of the most haunted places in America. The stories of strange occurrences and ghost sightings continue to captivate visitors, keeping the mystery and legend of the lighthouse alive. The St. Augustine Lighthouse has long held a reputation as one of the most haunted places in the country, and its eerie history only strengthens this belief. Over the years, both visitors and staff have shared unsettling experiences that suggest the lighthouse may be home to restless spirits. The lighthouse's haunting reputation draws people from all over, eager to witness the supernatural events that are said to occur. One of the most common ghostly encounters involves the Pitti sisters, Mary and Eliza. The tragic story of their accidental deaths continues to linger, with many visitors reporting hearing the unmistakable sound of children's laughter echoing through the lighthouse. Some claim they've seen shadowy figures near the top of the tower, which are believed to be the young sisters. These playful spirits seem to remain attached to the lighthouse, adding an eerie sense of mystery to the already haunted location. Another well-known figure in the lighthouse's haunted history is Peter Rasmussen, a former lighthouse keeper. He was meticulous in his duties and known for his love of cigars. Even though Rasmussen passed away long ago, staff members and visitors often detect the distinct smell of cigar smoke, particularly in the keeper's quarters. It's as if Rasmussen is still keeping watch over the lighthouse, unable to let go of his former responsibilities. Joseph Andreu, the keeper who fell to his death, is another spirit said to linger at the St. Augustine Lighthouse. Many claim to see him looking out from the top of the tower, continuing his duties as though nothing has changed. His presence, along with that of the Pitti sisters and Rasmussen, has turned this historical site into a paranormal hotspot. As stories of ghostly encounters spread, the lighthouse's reputation as a haunted location has only grown stronger. The lighthouse isn't just known for its past, it's become a place where history and the supernatural intersect, leaving visitors with an unsettling sense of wonder and fear. Inside the St. Augustine Lighthouse, certain areas seem to be more active with paranormal occurrences than others. Visitors often report strange happenings in specific places throughout the tower and its surrounding grounds, making it clear that something supernatural is at play. One of the most active areas is the spiral staircase that winds its way up to the top of the lighthouse. Many who have braved the climb describe feeling an invisible hand brushing against their backs or shoulders as they ascend the narrow iron steps. Some have even claimed to feel a slight push, as if something unseen was trying to guide or even hurry them to the top. These chilling experiences have left many uneasy as they wonder whether it's Joseph Andreu, the lighthouse keeper who fell to his death, still haunting the stairs he used to patrol so carefully. Another hotspot for paranormal activity is the keeper's quarters. This area, once home to the lighthouse's caretakers, has been the site of several strange and unexplained occurrences. Staff and visitors alike have reported seeing furniture move on its own, chairs rocking back and forth when no one is near, and objects disappearing only to reappear in different locations. Some have even felt a sudden chill in the air, particularly near Rasmussen's old room, which is often accompanied by the unmistakable scent of cigar smoke. Many believe this is Peter Rasmussen continuing his watchful eye over the place he cared for so much in life. The most unsettling encounters, however, occur in the basement of the lighthouse. This dark, damp space has long been associated with a shadowy figure known as the Man. Visitors who venture into this area describe a strong feeling of being watched, and some have even seen the shadowy outline of a tall man moving through the room. Those who have encountered this figure often report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, as if they were unwelcome in the space. This presence is believed to be connected to one of the former lighthouse keepers, though whether it's Rasmussen, Andreu, or someone else remains unknown. These specific areas, each with its own history and ghostly happenings, are what make the St. Augustine Lighthouse such a chilling place. Visitors come for the history, but leave with stories of eerie encounters that suggest the lighthouse's past inhabitants never truly left. The eerie encounters at the St. Augustine Lighthouse extend beyond the tower and keeper's quarters. Stories of paranormal activity have been reported across the entire property, painting a vivid picture of just how haunted this location may be. One of the most well-known and frequently shared ghost stories centers on the Pitti sisters, Mary and Eliza, whose tragic deaths in the late 1800s left a haunting legacy. It's said that the two young girls continue to play around the lighthouse grounds. Late at night, visitors often claim to hear the sound of children's laughter echoing through the air, even when no one else is around. Some have seen fleeting figures, small, shadowy shapes, darting around the yard or at the top of the tower. It's as if the sisters are still enjoying their playful games, unaware of the accident that ended their lives. Another popular ghostly encounter occurs near the water. The bay where the Pitti sisters drown is known for mysterious sightings. On foggy nights, some have claimed to see the outline of two small girls walking along the shoreline, their figures barely visible in the mist. Others say they've spotted the girls floating just above the water, their white dresses faintly glowing in the moonlight. These apparitions vanish as quickly as they appear, leaving those who witness them wondering if their eyes were playing tricks, or if they had a brush with the supernatural. Even those who work at the lighthouse aren't immune to its haunted reputation. The gift shop, which once served as the lighthouse keeper's workshop, has had its own share of strange happenings. Staff members report that items on the shelves often move on their own, and objects that were perfectly in place at closing are found scattered around the store by morning. On several occasions, employees have heard faint whispers or footsteps coming from empty rooms, and some have even felt a cold presence nearby, as though someone was watching them. The lighthouse grounds, the bay, and even the modern-day facilities all seem to be touched by the spirits of those who once lived or died at the St. Augustine Lighthouse. The Pitti sisters' laughter, the shadowy figures near the water, and the eerie occurrences in the gift shop add to the mystery of this haunted landmark, keeping visitors and locals alike wondering who or what still lingers in this historic place. The St. Augustine Lighthouse stands today as not only a historic landmark, but but also one of the most haunted locations in the United States. Its blend of rich maritime history and tragic deaths has given rise to a host of ghostly legends that captivate visitors year after year. For over a century, stories of paranormal encounters have persisted, drawing ghost hunters, thrill seekers, and curious tourists from all over the world to experience the eerie atmosphere of the Lighthouse for themselves. The spirits said to haunt the Lighthouse, from the Petit sisters to the former keepers like Joseph Andreu and Peter Rasmussen, are believed to remain attached to this place. Some claim that their presence is a result of unfinished business, perhaps a reluctance to leave the world they once knew so well. Others believe these ghosts may not realize they've passed on, their spirits endlessly repeating the routines of their earthly lives. Whether it's the sounds of children laughing, the smell of Rasmussen's cigar smoke, or sightings of Andreu at the top of the tower. The encounters reported by visitors lend credence to the lighthouse's haunted reputation. To this day, the St. Augustine Lighthouse continues to fascinate and unsettle those who dare to visit. Ghost tours are a popular attraction, with guides recounting the tragic stories of those who died on the property. Many who embark on these tours report experiencing unexplained chills, strange sounds, or glimpses of shadowy figures. Some feel an overwhelming sense of sadness or dread as they walk the grounds, particularly near the keeper's house and the top of the tower. These sensations only add to the growing list of strange occurrences, convincing many that the spirits of the lighthouse are far from at rest. For those who believe in the paranormal, the St. Augustine Lighthouse serves as a powerful reminder of how connected we are to our past, even beyond death. The stories of the Petit sisters, Joseph Andreu and Peter Rasmussen, will likely continue to be told for generations, keeping their spirits alive in the minds of all who hear them. Whether you visit for the history or in hopes of experiencing the supernatural, one thing is certain. The St. Augustine Lighthouse holds secrets that may never be fully explained, its haunted legacy a permanent part of its story. The haunted St. Augustine Lighthouse stands as a place where history and the paranormal intertwine, reminding us that some souls may linger far longer than expected, leaving their presence to be felt in the most unexpected and chilling ways. The Key West Cemetery in Florida is one of the most haunted places in the state, known for its eerie atmosphere and long history. Established in the mid-1800s, this cemetery was built, and after a massive hurricane devastated the area in 1846, washing away both buildings and lives. To prevent future disasters, the cemetery was constructed 16 feet above sea level. It became the final resting place for approximately 100,000 people, many of whom died suddenly or violently from natural disasters, wars, and even homicides. Though Key West is widely celebrated for its beautiful beaches, lively nightlife, and rich cultural heritage, the city has a darker side. The cemetery stands as a haunting reminder of the lives lost in tragic circumstances. Visitors often report strange happenings while walking through the grounds, from hearing disembodied voices to seeing unexplained shadows. Despite its popularity with tourists, the cemetery is said to be a place where many restless spirits linger, never quite at peace. Throughout its history, the Key West Cemetery has earned a reputation not only for its unique graves, but also for its hauntings. Some of the graves have humorous epitaphs, such as "I told you I was sick," making the cemetery feel both eerie and oddly charming. However, as peaceful as it may appear during the day, the cemetery takes on an entirely different, more unsettling feel at night. Many visitors have experienced strange encounters with spirits, particularly those of individuals who met sudden or violent ends. The haunted reputation of the Key West Cemetery has grown over the years, drawing in ghost hunters and curious visitors alike. With around 100,000 souls resting here, It's no surprise that many believe the spirits of the cemetery remain active, especially those who met tragic or untimely deaths. People from all walks of life, many of whom died during violent storms, wars, and even homicides, are said to still linger in the cemetery, unable to find peace. The cemetery's location adds to its eerie atmosphere. Constructed in the mid-1800s after a devastating hurricane swept away graves and lives alike, this burial ground has a history soaked in sorrow and loss. As the city of Key West grew, so did the legends of the restless souls buried there. Tales of ghostly figures wandering between the graves at night and strange sounds coming from the mausoleums are common among locals. One of the most well-known spirits haunting the cemetery is said to be that of a Bahamian woman who watches over the graves. Known as a guardian of the cemetery, she is said to appear to visitors who are being disrespectful to the resting places of the dead. With a stern expression, she confronts those who fail to show proper reverence, only to vanish into thin air moments later. This ghostly encounter, along with other strange phenomena, like flickering lights and voices without a source, have cemented the cemetery's reputation as one of Florida's most haunted spots. The Key West Cemetery has many areas that are said to be particularly haunted, with visitors and locals reporting eerie encounters throughout its grounds. One of the most famous places within the cemetery is the grave of B.P. Pearl Roberts, known for its humorous epitaph, "I told you I was sick." While the inscription brings a smile to many, it's said that Pearl's spirit occasionally lingers around her grave, especially at night, with some visitors claiming to have seen a shadowy figure standing near her tombstone. Another location tied to ghostly sightings is the cluster of above-ground mausoleums. Some of these structures house those who died in violent storms or battles, and they are hotspots for paranormal activity. People have reported hearing disembodied voices near the mausoleums, as well as feeling a sudden chill when passing by. In some instances, orbs of light, often associated with spirits, have been captured in photographs around this section of the cemetery. One of the most unsettling spots in the cemetery is near the area where victims of the 1846 hurricane were buried. The storm was catastrophic, and many bodies were never recovered, leading to tales of restless souls wandering the cemetery grounds. Visitors have reported seeing shadowy figures in this area, as well as hearing faint whispers that seem to come from nowhere. Some believe these spirits are searching for peace, while others think they're simply reliving their tragic final moments. These specific locations, combined with numerous unexplained occurrences, have made the Key West Cemetery a prime destination for those seeking an encounter with the supernatural. The spirits within these grounds seem to hold tight to the world of the living, their presence felt by many who dare to visit. The paranormal activity at the Key West Cemetery doesn't end with shadowy figures and mysterious orbs. Numerous visitors have reported even more chilling encounters, making it one of the most haunted spots in Florida. One of the cemetery's most talked about spirits is the ghost of a Bahamian woman, often referred to as the guardian of the cemetery. She is said to approach visitors who are being disrespectful, scolding them with an intense, angry look before disappearing into thin air. Those who have seen her claim she appears out of nowhere, especially if they dare to sit or lean on the gravestones instead of benches. Another commonly encountered phenomenon is the sound of disembodied voices. People strolling through the cemetery have reported hearing conversations that fade in and out, as if from another time. These voices are often accompanied by a sudden change in temperature, with the air becoming noticeably cooler. Some have even heard what they describe as soft crying or laughter, with no source in sight. In addition to these auditory encounters, visitors have shared stories of seeing faint outlines of figures dressed in clothing from centuries past. These figures are often spotted wandering aimlessly among the graves, sometimes vanishing before the eyes of those who witness them. Many believe these ghosts are the restless spirits of individuals who met sudden or tragic ends, unable to move on from their untimely deaths. There's also the frequent appearance of strange flickering lights late at night. These lights, sometimes referred to as phantom lanterns, have been seen floating just above the ground, particularly near older graves. Visitors who have tried to follow the lights have found that they vanish as quickly as they appear, leaving behind an eerie silence. These chilling encounters add to the growing legend of the Key West Cemetery, a place where the past seems to be forever intertwined with the present. The Key West Cemetery remains a place where history and the supernatural coexist. Its long past, filled with tragedy, humor, and unique stories, seems to have left a permanent mark, with spirits lingering in the peaceful yet eerie atmosphere. From the stern ghost of the Bahamian woman to the mysterious orbs, voices, and ghostly figures, visitors continue to share their strange and unsettling experiences. Yet, despite its haunted reputation, the cemetery remains an important part of Key West's rich culture. The quirky headstones and historical significance draw countless visitors each year, whether they come for the history, the paranormal, or simply out of curiosity. The Key West Cemetery holds the final resting places of many, but for some, it seems that rest has not come so easily. Whether you're intrigued by ghost stories or fascinated by the past, visiting the Key West Cemetery is sure to leave an impression. For those brave enough to explore its winding paths, the experiences may be both enlightening and chilling. This historic cemetery, rich in tales of life, death, and the unknown, continues to be one of the most haunted places in Florida, where the line between the living and the dead feels thinner than ever. The haunted Key West Cemetery stands as a reminder that history never truly dies, and neither do the spirits that remain, forever wandering the grounds, watching over those who visit.